Hey guys, I just want to show you how to find a control tower without actually having to use combat scan probes. This also works for ships that are like in sites that you already scanned down, or anomalies that don't need to be scanned down. You can easily find them using this method. The first thing you'll want to do is find a center point. Since this wormhole is small, I'm going to stick with the sun as my main point. You have to remember that the maximum you can scan is about 14.3 AU, as you see here. That's the maximum scan range. So if you look here, this planet here will not be scannable using D-scan, so you'll probably have to warp there to look around really quick. Or you can use a different center point to get the full wormhole. It's entirely up to you how you do this, but I already looked around, and this is the only tower that I see in D-scan right now. So first things first is what you'll want to do is start reducing your range. So we're going to start with reducing it by 1 billion. You still see the tower. I'm going to reduce it another half about. And you can see obviously that you don't see it. So I'm going to start incrementing it higher now. Let's try 8. Still nothing. 9. Still nothing. Okay. So it's between 900 million and 1 billion. So if you look here, that's about 6 to 7 AU. The reason for this is that you can look around here and see the distances of the planets. And looking here, this is actually the only planet that's actually would be between 6 to 7, because the next planet would be 13, and the closest planet before that is about 4. So this one's 6.61. So this one is most likely where the tower is. I'm gonna warp there now.
Active.
What you want to do is actually warp to the planet. Don't warp to the moons yet. Warp to the middle, 100k away. Generally, if there are two planets around the same distance, there are ways to figure this if it's actually in this cluster of moons. I'll explain it in just a minute. Okay, so now that we're there, you'll want to look at the farthest moon away, which is moon 15, which is about 7.1 million away. So let's input around that into the range. Hit scan, and obviously if you do see it, that means that it's in this cluster. So if it's not in this cluster, you can warp to the next one that might be similar around, and then do this again. You'll probably find it. Obviously, it should only take 1 or 2 tries to figure out what cluster of moons it's in. So now to find the tower, what I like to start doing is starting it at 1 million kilometers each time. And you can see here that I found it at 1 million kilometers. That means that it's in 1 million or less. So we're going to start decreasing the value here. We'll start with, let's say, 700,000 kilometers. And you see that I don't see it, so you got to go up now. So it's like a game, high or low to get the round value. So you see now that I see it, so it's between 700 and 800k. So let's try 750. So now I've reduced it to 700 to 750. Let's try. Okay, so you see here it's about 730k to about 750k. So that's very, very narrow, and you should be able to find a planet within this value. So if you look here, you see those are low, lower, still low. And you can see here it says 733. So that means if I put 735, and if I see it, actually it'd be a little bit more because the planet's a bit farther. Yeah. So it's got to be this planet. There's no other planet that is actually close to about 745k. The next one is 1 million. The next one before that is 547. So it's got to be this planet here. So what you want to do is warp 102, never warp 0, never warp without a covert. And obviously you never use a like a T3 ship to do this, a T3 scanner, even if it's a covert. Sometimes you can accidentally warp into the PoS regardless of warping 100k in. It's always good to ensure that if you do, you have an escape plan to warp right out. Usually a tower won't lock a frigate in time anyway. But a T3 can be a different story if you land right in the middle of it. So it's good to use just a frig to do this. I would definitely train this up. So you can see here, here's the tower, and here are the 4 ships, and they're all inactive. So I will bookmark the tower. Oops. And there you go. You can basically use this to sit and camp their tower without actually alerting them, which is very good for kills. And just watching them, see if you have if you're hauling in goods, it's good to watch the tower anyway. Or you can also use this, like I said, for sites. If you do a system scan first, go back into the map. You can see all the sites in the wormhole. What's good about this is you can actually tell how far they are away from you. So you can use the same kind of method to look for ships. So if you see, like, let's say a ship is a certain length, then you can search through all the ones that they're in. And this is great, like I said, because you don't have to alert them. You can actually just drop right on them and find them. You can use this with like a T3 covert though. It wouldn't be a problem doing that. I just don't advise doing it with a control tower. So that should be it.